everybody, this is Kristin, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Connect with KB. It is great to have you tuning in with us. We're going to talk a little bit about leadership this morning, business, education, and all the wonderful things that connect us to each other. My guest today is the founder of Blueprint Athletes, a program to help build the skill set for those aspiring to play high school, college, and professional basketball. He's also an entrepreneur and a thought leader at heart. I want to welcome to the podcast, Jon Horford. Jon, welcome. Good to have you here.
Kristin, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I want to start with the Jon Horford story. Everybody has to tell me their story, and so go ahead, my friend.
The story, it's boring. I'm from Lansing, Grand Ledge. Played a little basketball occasionally, I guess. Went to college, played basketball, played pro for a few years. Have helped to start a few small businesses with my wife and some other family members as well. And my main focus these days is the development of players and helping coaches to help players.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Your company is called Blueprint Athletes. And when did you start this? And what was the impetus to do this?
So I started this in 2017, and it came from, it kind of like spiraled off of the business that we had started for Kristina, just because we had seen like an app, structured workout-ish based plan having benefits for people, and I'm like, well, I mean, there's obviously a need for this within the basketball arena. I've trained kids since after my freshman year at Michigan. I started training my brother and two of his best friends. Those were the first kids I ever trained, and I just realized that the majority of kids, when they get into the gym, they don't have structured workouts. They don't know how to train. They don't know how to push themselves past their limits. They're not doing things in like a progressive manner that's going to lead to the outcomes, the results that they're looking for. So I decided to create an entire program of basketball and strength conditioning that would allow anyone to have access to that type of progressive structured plan that we use at the higher levels for a very, very little cost or free most of the time.
So for the listeners, you played at the University of Michigan, and then you played a year at Florida, right?
Yes.
For the Gators. Played for Billy Donovan?
Yep. So I played for John Beilein, played for Billy Donovan. I did Dominican national team stuff with Coach Cal, who's the University of Kentucky's head basketball coach. So a lot of the structured workouts is, the best of what I learned from them that I knew would be applicable and somewhat digestible and usable for, the younger athletes, throughout the country and the world even. I have people using the app and on literally every single continent.
Is that right?
It's true.
So how often do you update in regards to the workouts and that kind of thing for the app? And then let's talk a little bit about the kids too in the training and their development and maybe some of the success that they've had.
Yeah, so I update, we add new guides. Each guide on the app is a month long. We add new guides monthly, but then everything within the app is also fully customizable. So if I'm a coach and I see, I really like this drill and this drill and this drill, but they're on different guides, you can just edit it and put whatever you want together. So it's fully customizable, so you can base it on your own like training philosophies or a player's specific needs. Because as a coach, you know that better than I ever will, unless I'm working with the player directly. And then in terms of success stories, people measure success differently. Like most people are going to be like, how many kids do you have playing college basketball? And a good amount. And, and I work with kids that, I work with some kids that are, have been fortunate to be able to go to like the pro levels too. But at the same time, I don't necessarily measure success that way.
Right.
It's, I see it more as, how much has this person grown? Who are they becoming? How do they interact with other people? Like, are they kind? Are they thoughtful? Are they caring? Are they hardworking? I think of the app as habit development, not necessarily like skill development, sure, but we're developing habits that players can use in all aspects of their lives. And the best stories and the best thing that I've seen from, working with these kids is the bonds that they make with each other. like along the way, and just watching them, overcome adversity, watching them doubt themselves and have those bad days, but continue to show up and, have those better days later. And, to a person, all of the kids that have stuck with it and have been consistent have gotten better in remarkable ways, not just, with their skills, but also just with, how they interact with each other, their leadership qualities, their confidence, the things that really matter.
Well, and the things that really will translate into their life that they'll need to do in regards to being on a team and being a good team player and, supporting your teammates and all those kind of things that go along with that. So you're really, the basketball is just kind of a little bit secondary here, I think, in terms of the development. It's more character building and integrity and work ethic and that kind of thing. And I think that the basketball part of it is a bonus.
It is a bonus, and you get to work out and develop your capacity for work as well, which I guess is another good habit to develop just for like your health's sake. You know what I mean? Like a kid who is used to working out consistently, it's going to be easy for them to continue to work out, as they grow older. And that's another thing that, benefits people in life.
I think another benefit is for the parents. And I saw a YouTube clip that you did, a video, and it you put it together. It talks about basketball and parenting. Giving kids structure, accountability, and encouragement will make a difference in their lives. Tell me a little bit about how did you come up with that? Because it's a really great clip.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's one of our promo videos. We have a few, and then I came up with it just because so many parents are like, oh, I don't know basketball. I can't help my kid. And I'm like, that's absolutely not true. Like at the end of the clip, I say something like, they won't remember the mistakes that you make along the way, but they will remember that you cared enough to put in the time. Like they just want you to like spend time with them. And with the Blueprint Athletes app, any parent can be a coach because there are instructions and then there are clips for every single drill. And we have hundreds of drills. So you can just guide your athlete through, any of those drills, any of the workouts. And if parents ever had questions on anything, they can always reach out to me. But the whole point with it, in my mind, is that you don't need to be an expert to make a difference in your kid's life. And that's absolutely the case. It's so true. So many people think that they need to be an expert. So many people think that they need to have these elaborate training, programs and all this like crazy gimmicky nonsense. Like if you don't even need a basketball to get better at home, like I swear you can do it. And a lot of these people are like, no, that can't be true. But if you ever came and watched like a Michigan practice and saw like the basic fundamental stuff that like John Beilein put us through, you would just be like, no, like you wouldn't do this at the college level. And it's like, yep, even after like 2 Big Ten championships, going to the Final Four, it's like, all right, let's work on holding our follow through on our pass and stepping into the pass. All right, let's go. And it's just like, people would be like, no way. But it's like, yes, these are the little things that make a difference over time. You don't have to do anything, revolutionary to help your kid to improve.
Well, and the other thing is too, it keeps consistency. I think that the parent isn't off trying to do something else. You see that a lot, that, kids get a lot of feedback from a lot of different people, and it might sometimes get a little confusing for them. Somebody's saying, step back, step forward, step to the side, do this. And the poor kid gets a little confused. So I think the app can help a parent to be consistent in terms of the drills and what you have put together and the best way for the kid to be able to grow and to mature right into the program and what you're trying to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying, and that's another thing, and that's why we've made it customizable. For parents can customize it, players can customize it, coaches can customize it. And there's so many drills on there that you can find what works for you, because every program's different. People have different philosophies. They believe that certain things work, certain things don't work. Like I have shooting breakdown guides. Some people might not like the way that I break down shooting, and that's totally fine. If they want to do it their own way, they can do it their own way, but that doesn't mean that they can't still apply their shooting philosophy to the numerous drills that we have on there that would be applicable for any player that's trying to get better, any player, any level, period.
I liked this part too on your website. Be humble, help others, stay the course. So applicable to sports, but also applicable to life. Do you get as much out of this opportunity to grow athletes and inspire them as you do playing?
I get a lot more out of helping athletes to develop and to grow and to, kind of find their way than I do out of playing. I'm not, anyone who really knows me well, I'm not the biggest sports guy. Like, I don't really watch sports like that. I watch like a little NBA playoff basketball maybe, but I don't watch sports. I'm not big into that, the relationships and everything that comes along with that is so much more important to me than playing the game itself. Like, a lot of times I tell people, like, the only reason I even played sports growing up is because my parents told me that if I don't get a scholarship, that they're not going to pay for my college. So
that was that was what was driving you.
I was like, I better get a scholarship. And another thing I always tell my kids is that, like, I remember telling, my coaches or teammates or anyone, because growing up, I didn't play. Like, I sat the bench. Like, I did not play all. My coaches did not play me basically until I got to high school. A couple coaches here and there gave me some opportunities, but for the most part, like, my school teams that I was playing for, my AU teams, would not play me. So I try to tell players all the time, like, don't allow that to be the thing that, like, holds you back, like other people's opinions. Like, if you have a goal, like, continue to work towards that goal, stay the course. But along the way, be humble, help others, and, things have a tendency to work out. Because truly, if you would have asked, like, anyone who knew me in, like, middle school or anything like that, like, oh, would this kid have a chance of ever playing college basketball? Like, they would laugh at your face.
Well, I suspect that you've said that a lot to your kids, and, that they may very well, some people develop later, some people grow later. For you, what was the game changer then? When you got to high school, what changed for you that all of a sudden you were getting a little recognition from a coach and you started to play more?
I don't think, and that's the thing, I really don't think anything changed except for maybe my confidence just through consistently working out. Because even in middle school, I'd started, consistently working out probably about, 5-6 times a week. And it pays off eventually. And it's not, and here's the thing, hard work doesn't always pay off in the way that we think that it's going to pay off, but it does pay off. Like, it's the lessons that we learn along the way, right? That's the value of the hard work and the hours that we put in and the sacrifices that we make. So I try to tell my kids that all the time. Not all of you. Yeah, a lot of you are going to work hard. Some of you are going to go to college and play basketball. Some of you won't. But there are still so many valuable lessons that you're going to learn along the way, right? The strength of character that you're going to gain through this process is the true measure of success.
I so admire that, Jon. And, I've watched you with Kristina and the opportunity to help her to grow her business, Kristina Capron Fitness. And she's done exceptionally well. And I know that you've created a lot of those workouts for her as well. And let's just touch base on that real quick about the support that you have for your wife and what you're doing. And your business really came after her business, but I know that you helped her create that.
Yeah, my business came after her business, but yeah, I guess we came up with the concept for her business kind of together. Not kind of, definitely, but yeah, I mean, Kristina's the best. She works hard. She has a great personality, and that's what's really been the difference maker with her. And as someone who's come up with a lot of like the workouts and stuff for that, I'll tell you, like, there's nothing like revolutionary on there. It's not like, oh, these workouts are incredible. You can't get it anywhere else. Like, you definitely can. But it's who she is. Like, that's what people love. Like,
I can't agree more.
Yeah.
Just all the little clips, the Instagram, everything. And it's not just fitness. It's, what she's wearing, what you guys are doing to the house. Where'd you get this? She's just like, she just has a relationship with her followers and connects with them just like they're her best friends. And I always thought that was so neat.
Yeah, she's amazing. And it's truly, that's what's allowed her to have so much success, is that she's so relatable, so down to earth. And people just love her. Like, she's just incredible.
Let's talk a little bit about your involvement with Grand Ledge United. I know you're from Grand Ledge, and you've got a place in your heart for being a Comet and coming from the community. And just explain to the listeners a little bit about what that's all about.
So Grand Ledge United is a community organization that was put together by the Grand Ledge City Council after the firing of Brian Metcalf last June. I am the co-chair of Grand Ledge United along with Rachel Kunsch. And Grand Ledge United is just about making Grand Ledge a more welcoming, inclusive, equitable community. We just want the community to come together, and we want everyone who lives in Grand Ledge or is thinking about moving to Grand Ledge to feel comfortable in that, to feel comfortable, to feel welcome in the community, because not a lot of people have always felt that way. We did a little poll, like a study that we put out. We had, hundreds of responses from people in the community, and the most striking part of it was the community comment, and you just see how many people have had, these experiences in Grand Ledge. It doesn't surprise some people. It does surprise other people, just in terms of not being welcome because of their race, their religion, their sexual orientation. And we know that it's never going to be perfect, but we want to dissolve that. Like, we want to bring the community together. Like, we have more in common, right? And we love Grand Ledge. Like, everyone wants to feel safe. Everybody wants to feel welcome. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to have a fulfilling life. And we're just working on ways to, educate the community, come together with community projects, and just do things that we know is going to make Grand Ledge an even better place. And I do love Grand Ledge. And a lot of times when I say something like that, people are like, oh, so you don't think Grand Ledge is a good place, or, you think it's terrible, you think it's this, that. And it's like, no, but, every community has room for improvement. And until, everyone who lives there can feel comfortable there, feel comfortable walking into any store or any restaurant, then we still have a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of that still in Grand Ledge, whether people want to admit it or not.
Well, and you know what? It's all over the place. It is.
It is all over the place.
And I really admire that you and Rachel are leading this. You are two great people. She's wonderful over there at Public Sector Consultants. It's just a great job. What does the next 5 years look like for Jon Horford?
We'll see. I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely going to involve, helping people. I don't think there's anything more fulfilling in life than, helping other people to find themselves.
Jon, I told you this 15 minutes was going to go by real quickly. It sure did. I'd like for you to come back and see me again. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I would love to. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Absolutely. My guest today, Jon Horford, the founder of Blueprint Athletes. I also want to thank my supporting sponsors, Marketing Resource Group, Governmental Consultant Services, Downing Industries, the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, AF Group, AT&T, and the Fraser Law Firm. You can listen to all my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristin Belzer.